Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahushai. All praises, glory, and honor goes to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and who was taught us this truth. Shalom wa Barakim. Salakia. Shalom wa Barakim, La Bakarim. Peace and blessings to the elect. Lord willing, this be an edifying video. It's just a response video to the brother Yaga Alya. And he was essentially just going into a different video and some articles that was relaying the message that ICE has now been granted the ability to, go into people's homes without a traditional judicial warrant. They're calling it an administrative warrant, which is a warrant that is created by ICE themselves. Essentially, they're giving themselves authority to, go in people's homes. And that's no surprise, because that's written in the scriptures. So I'm just going to get a couple scriptures. Lord willing, edifying. This is Revelation chapter 12. I'm starting at verse 10. It says, "And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his anointed." So at the end of the day, all these things that we see taking place on the planet Earth are taking place because we're living in the time in which the kingdom of Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, is being established. Okay, so in order for the Lord's kingdom to be established, this kingdom has to go down. All right, and at the end of the day, this devil, he's not going to go down without fighting. So that's what we're seeing. We're seeing this devil kick, cry, scream, and fight before he goes down. And it's very spiritual because this devil is likened unto a goat, right? And we're the Israelites, we're likened unto sheep. All right, and when you slaughter a sheep versus when you slaughter a goat, when you slaughter a sheep, it dies quietly and peacefully. All right, but a goat, it screams, it kicks, it yells. And that's what we're seeing take place. This Edomite, he's being killed, he's being slaughtered, he's being taken down by the spirit power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and he's throwing temper tantrums, he's screaming, he's kicking, and he's trying to take everyone down with him. All right. So Revelation 12:10, I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now has come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his anointed. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down. Who's the accuser of our brethren? That's the Edomite. All right, he's our brother, and he's accused us before the Lord. He's set up traps. He's made Jake go off. He's rewarded Jake for going off, and then at the same time he goes to the Most High and say, see, look at your people, you see them going off. All right, but the Lord sees that. Okay, and yes, Jake that falls for it's going to get judged, but Esau's going to get ultimately the ultimate judgment. Okay, they're being cast down. They're going to lose their authority. They think that they can outsmart the Most High. They think they can do these things to prolong their kingdom. Okay, but the Heavenly Father said in Job, his days are determined. All right, meaning there's a set date, a point in time in which this Edomite is no longer permitted to rule, and the Lord's going to take away his rulership. It says, which accused them before our power day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. And they love not their lives unto the death. This is the elect. They hate their lives unto death. They're overcoming this world, all right, by their testimony of Yahushai. Okay, the blood of Yahushai. Verse 12 says, therefore rejoice ye heavens. Here's the point. And ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. This devil, he understands that he has a short time. So what is he doing? He's becoming more wicked. He's becoming more cruel and evil. Case in point, him just breaking into people's homes. All right, taking and targeting Jake. Right now he's targeting the Northern Kingdom, but he's going to target the entire nation of Israel because we're coming into Jacob's trouble. All right, let's get that. Ultimately, this is all just the beginning of Jacob's trouble. This is Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. It says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. All right, all the different historical things that took place in history is not like the time that we're coming into. Okay, that includes slavery. That includes the different world wars. All right, that includes the different like volcanic eruptions and earthquakes and all these different natural disasters that took place. None of these things are like the day that we're coming into. All right, it says it is even the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay, and the focal point of the time that we're entering into is Jacob's trouble. Who are Jacob? These so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Okay, the people of the Lord are going to be punished tremendously, man. They're about to get that ass whooping of a lifetime, man. All right, and 2/3 are going to be perished. They're going to be destroyed. It says, but he shall be saved out of it. But the elect, they're going to be purified by this trouble. All right. Now let's go ahead and get it's Isaiah chapter 13 and verse this is Isaiah 13 and 6. How ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. At the end of the day, the Lord is doing these things, but how is he doing it? He's doing it through his whipping stick. He's doing it through his weapon of evil, all right, which are these Edomites. It's been a second since I got this one. Here we go. 17. That was 7. It's Psalm 17 and 13. It says, "Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword." So the Heavenly Father's sword is the wicked. Okay, but us that have faith, that's in the know, we know that the Lord is using this devil, all right, to destroy the wicked. All right, so what is our prayer? Our prayer is to protect us from this devil. All right, and the Lord is going to do it. All right, this is that's why we do these videos. That's why we go out to camp. All right, that's why we're brotherly. All right, because we understand at the end of the day, all evil comes from the Lord. All good comes from the Lord. All right, so he controls our circumstances. And if we want to escape the evil that is coming, that is inevitably coming, and we could clearly see the signs, all right, we got to do what we got to do. Like it says, 2 Peter is the 3rd chapter. All right, all holy conversation and godliness. This is Psalms 125 and 3. It says, "For the rod of the wicked shall not rest upon the lot of the righteous, lest the righteous put forth their hands unto iniquity." So we understand that Esau is the wicked, and the Lord uses Esau to judge, right? He's his whipping stick. But we understand that the rod of the wicked shall not touch us unless we put forth our hands to iniquity, man. Essentially, at the end of the day, it means unless we have no faith. As long as we have faith and trust in the Lord and do as he says, all right, we're going to be protected from this great wrath that he's coming with. All right, because Esau's coming with great wrath. He's breaking into houses. All right, 2 Esdras chapter 15 and verse 14. "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." Woe means destruction. All right, destruction to this world. It says, "For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh." And Esau is the sword. Okay, but other people are going to have swords as well. All right, it says, "And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands." All right, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another." So not only are the government going to invade one another and break into people's houses, all right, the everyday person is going to break into people's houses. All right, because it's going to be a famine. All right, it says, "They shall not regard their kings nor princes." They're not going to care about the laws. It says, "In the course of their action shall stand in their power." People are going to do what they think is the right thing to do. So if they think it's the right thing to do is to kill a person, they're going to do it. They think the right thing to do is to break in this person's house and rob them, they're going to do it. All right. "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able," because Esau is going to have the different cities locked down. So you can't easily move from city to city. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, all men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their house with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Because of the tribulation that's coming, people are going to go crazy. Okay, people that grew up together and thought they were close friends, they spent 20, 30 years together, spent holidays together, grew up together, had children, and they're going to try to kill one another. All right, that's how terrible the times are coming. This is 2 Esdras chapter 16 and verse 70. It says, for this shall, matter of fact, let's get 68. It says, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you. Okay, the Lord has wrath kindled over the world, the Lord calls it the day of the Lord. The Lord calls it Jacob's trouble. All right, it says, and they shall take away certain of you, feed you being idle with things offered unto idol. All right, I'm going to jump down to verse 70. It says, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Jacob's trouble. All right. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. They're going to spoil Jake, man. For they shall waste and take their goods and cast them out of their houses. That's what's already happening, but it's going to happen on a way grander scale. All right. It says, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. You're going to know who they're chosen because you're going to see who's moving with the Spirit, who the Lord is actually dealing with and protecting and defending. Okay, let's go ahead and get this. Isaiah 59:19, it says, so shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against them. At the end of the day, the Lord's going to lift up a standard against these devils. When they start coming down like a flood, and start coming down with that great wrath, the wicked is going to get taken away. All right, but the elect is going to be protected. So we got to continue to do what we got to do in order to make our calling of election sure. Lord willing, this was edifying. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bashim, Al Shai, Bashim, Rakadash. Simple honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone over well. Shalom.